He said, "Come on, Satan." Instant regret. As soon as he walked up to Pumpkinhead with that shotgun, he said, "Come on, Satan." As soon as Pumpkinhead grabbed that neck, he's just instant regret. Yo, I love this scene. I love this movie. And if we talking about this movie, we gotta talk about sequels that slap people. I think this is part 2. I'm pretty sure I only did Sister Act 2. But sequels that slap, man. Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings. Rest in peace, shout out to Jeff Burr, director of this movie, man. First and foremost, Jeff Burr, he was this, like, just out of the ordinary, underrated horror sequel guy for me. It was always a horror sequel that stood out. Like, it was The Stepfather 2, it was Pumpkinhead 2, it was Leatherface the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Best movie he's done for me by far. Like, it's something about that third movie that's just so underappreciated. Then he did Puppet Master 4 and 5. Now, I know the Puppet Master franchise is like, it's a fucking headache. But I remember being a kid, and I remember 4 and I remember 2 being the best for sure. But it was something about 4 and 5 being shot back to back that gave me like a bit of like my early sense of continuity, like outside of like shit like the Halloween franchise or Friday 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever the main franchises were that was big on continuity. Like, it was something about Puppet Master 4 and 5, man. They had Gordon Curry come back for both movies. He was kind of like the new Andre Toulon character, and the puppets served him, and then you bought in like whoever that fucking demonic character was. It literally looked like a Pumpkinhead character, and you had the 2 evil fucking the 2 evil puppets, and he had Decapitron, all types of shit. But Jeff Burr, to say the least, man, he will be missed. At least on my end, he will definitely be missed. He was an underrated horror genre guy, man. But then when you get to Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings, I know it's gonna sound blasphemous, but y'all know I got unpopular opinions, and it's not even on no shock jock shit. This is just genuinely how I feel. I feel like Pumpkinhead 2 is better than the original. I know the original has a better story. Like, I think it's probably a better made film. The pacing is actually really good with the first movie. It is slow in a lot of parts, but I think that they give you just enough time with the characters to actually maybe decide whether you want to give a fuck about them by the time Pumpkinhead comes to spin the block on them or not. But this one, man, like, this was just like for me, this was just such a love letter to the genre, man. Like, you had Jeff Burr directing. You had the opening sequence, and I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't like either when they make the horror villain sympathetic, and then at the end where Pumpkinhead kind of, you see him like kind of, he like backs off like a dog. He's like, all right, man, I was wrong. I'm not gonna kill your daughter type shit. And then he fucking gets gunned down, and then you feel bad for him when they're playing that sad ass Enya like music at the end of it when he gets shot, and then he's on the hook, and like just how he died in the flashback sequence. The flashback sequence makes it really sad. Miss OC sells it as making it really sad, but like, it's something about this movie that just hits harder than that. I guess because it's more of a traditional monster movie, like Pumpkinhead, they changed the design a little bit. I love how his eyes are just whited out in this. I always say that. I'm gonna keep saying it. But then you got horror familiars in here, man. You got Andrew Robinson from Hellraiser as the dad. You got Amy Dolenz as the daughter. She was in Ticks and Children of the Night. Yo, man, if y'all have not seen Children of the Night, man, I think it's free on YouTube, but it was like one of the early Fangoria releases. Children of the Night is so corny, it's so cheesy, it's so cheap, but I promise you there is something so epic inside of that piece of shit movie. But shout out to Amy Dolenz nonetheless, man. She's a horror familiar. You had J. Trevor Edmond, who I think a year before this was in Return of the Living Dead. I think a year after this or so, he was in Lord of Illusions, if I'm not mistaken. You had oh shit, who else did it? Linnea Quigley's in here. She's fucking, mounting the bull and shit. And the bull she's mounting in the sex scene is Ari Mihailov, who was in what? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, directed by who? Jeff Burr. Like, and Ari Mihailov got the Bane, like, Pumpkinhead gave him the Bane treatment where he broke him over his knee and then threw him out the fucking barn. Love that scene. Badass. Kane Hodder is in this movie. Joe Unger, who was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 and Nightmare on Elm Street. You got all of these fucking horror familiars in this movie, man, and it's just so appreciated. And it's still a great revenge movie, man. This I was talking about this. I believe I mentioned this on RNZ Live, man. Shout out my boy Johnny Zuko. Make sure y'all go follow his Instagram, his Facebook, his TikTok, his YouTube channel, all of that shit. Zuko's Corner. Like RNZ Live, I think I mentioned Pumpkinhead 2 being one of my favorite, cases of when a horror villain or monster, whatever, second chance points when they spun the block. Because this one was like, all right, the first one was like, all right, Pumpkinhead's going to come back and kill the people that were responsible for the son's death. This version of Pumpkinhead was like, all right, I'm going to kill the people responsible for, who fucked up Miss O.C. and set the fire to her house. But then after that, I'm coming for, oh, no, I'm sorry. Pumpkinhead's first priority was, I'm coming back to kill the people that killed me back in the 50s or whatever it was in the opening flashback sequence. I'm going to kill y'all. But then I'm going to spin the block and I'm going to kill the young bulls that actually woke me up in the first fucking place and did my mama dirty. Like this John, this is how you up the ante. I know the movie's cheap and things like that, but I love the practical effects here. Jeff Burr actually wanted to give Pumpkinhead wings in this. I feel like that was really ambitious, but I feel like that was something we probably should have kept for maybe a part 3. If we did it, a part 3 if we did it properly, because there is a Pumpkinhead 3. Was it Ashes to Ashes? God damn. I did an entire commentary if y'all want to check it out, man, for that movie. And the beers didn't even help. I promise y'all. That movie, Lance Henriksen couldn't save it. Yes, Lance Henriksen's back. I don't care if it's a spoiler alert. Yeah, Pumpkinhead 3 is awful. There's a CG Pumpkinhead moment in that movie. That's why it's like part 4, Pumpkinhead 4 Blood Feud. I'm like, I don't even think I'm gonna make it through that shit. But this one, this is definitely a diamond in the rough as far as like horror sequels go for me, man. And you get to see more of Pumpkinhead in this, which I'm not necessarily mad at it. I know they use him really sparingly in the first movie, but you got to look at certain first movies. I always go back to shit like Jaws, where you barely see the shark in the movie and they want you to just focus on the characters. And that also goes for, I want to say maybe Freddy in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, but then that also goes for like Pinhead in the first Hellraiser, Candyman in the first movie. They don't overuse the characters. You know what I'm saying? The horror villains, whether they're creatures, slashers, whatever the case may be, they're not on screen a whole lot. So when you get them, you want it to count. Like, you want it to feel like it's the first time all over again type of shit. Clearly, it's not the first time for Linnea Quigley and Ari Mihailov. Does Linnea Quigley get naked in every movie she's in? Somebody in the comments let me know, because I feel like she does, and nobody's complaining at all. Linnea Quigley is horror royalty, but I feel like I'm going off topic here, people. Sequels that slap. Part 2. Pumpkinhead 2. Blood Wings, for sure.